Greetings, all. Greetings. She's already given you a little bit about my background, but I just fill the rest of you in. Some of you weren't here at that time. My name is Lyriel Claire. I recently moved to this area from Washington, D.C., where I was a member of a metaphysical church there for 18 years. I moved to Michigan in October because my family lives in Milford. But I chose to live near Ann Arbor because my internet research told me there was a church here that I'd like. The internet was right. So here I am, and I am very happy to be here. One thing is I'm really, truly impressed with the advanced level of comprehension of this community and your openness to experience new things, and I'm excited to be part of it. And so we're going to experience something new a little further on in this talk. But I myself already feel a great deal of expansion, even having been here only for a few months. And I thank you for that, and I'm delighted to speak to you today. So here at the Interfaith Center, I think March was an amazing month of spiritual messages, mostly dealing with our authentic selves. In his introduction to Sufism, Ali Hussein spoke about the search for one's note, one's who. Another speaker taught a diamond approach, and Dallas spoke of coming to wholeness. And now here I am with yet another thing to think about, which I hope will be useful as you move along in your path. The thing is, you've all been in your spiritual process for quite some time, many, many years, and doubtless have amassed quite a toolbox of things that help you in your journey. And today, I'm going to give you another tool for that toolbox. This talk's subtitle is, What's Your Word? I first got the idea from Elizabeth Gilbert, who several years ago wrote a book called Eat, Pray, Love. Some of you probably know what I'm talking about. She was talking with a friend who stated that each city has its own specific identity that could be contained in a word. Then he said that people also had their own words. I was intrigued by this concept, and I decided I needed to find my word. So while I was reading the rest of the book, I kept thinking about what my word might be, but nothing came to mind. I did eventually find my word in a great hallelujah moment, and it's been a pivotal tool for me on my path. It helps me to make decisions for my sense of well-being, and I feel that they are sound decisions. After I found my words, it then took me several years to own it, and that's when the real magic began. In our journeys, we too often focus on what is wrong with us, what we have to get rid of. But I like this word approach because we look at what is positive within ourselves, which helps balance out all the negative focus. So today we are all going to play the word game. I know that you are probably even now starting to try to come up with your word. And that's okay, but try to keep your left brain calm because I'll be leading you through the process in just a few minutes. The word we're looking for deals with the right brain. What's the left brain? The left brain is logic. The right brain is intuition. And intuition is where it all happens. Logic has nothing to do with it. So our word comes from our high self, that part of us that's connected to the universe at the highest level, and the part of us that is our soul, high self, soul. And I like to think of one's word is one's essence, one's note, one's who, one's authentic self, or at least part of it. My word sets me back on track. When I start wondering about where I'm going, what I'm doing, all I need to do is think about my word, and it renews my feeling of my own particular place in the world, in the universe. If and when you claim your word deeply within yourself, you'll see a change around you because of the change in you. That's something that's already been operating all your life, but you may not have realized what is happening. For example, if you're feeling irritated one day, do you notice how almost everything seems to contribute to that? Traffic is heavy, all the traffic lights are red, your colleagues are in a bad mood, your boss is on a rampage, and so on. We've created all that. When your word is operating within you, you consciously create your environment, and it's a much better place to be. You might find it hard to limit yourself to just one word. We are, after all, multifaceted beings. Would we have the same word at work as we have with our friends or our family? But where did those facets come from? In high school, I once did a crystal growing project for a science fair. All those big, beautiful, faceted jewels came from one tiny seed that grew around it. Now, a pearl is similar. It's created by an oyster from a tiny grain of sand. With my word, I know what my seed is. Now, the first step in any journey is, of course, to love yourself. That is always easier said than done, it would seem. Now, how do we do that when everything interferes, everything conspires against us? How many of us can say and deeply mean, I love myself exactly as I am? You can try affirmations to move you there, and those can help you. But Louise Hay, who wrote the book on affirmations, says they have to be said hundreds of times a day. I don't know about you, but I don't have that much patience. I'd rather focus on my word and let that move me towards self-love, because it's a powerful part of me. Now, the first hermetic law of the universe states that everything is mental, everything is thought. As we think, so we are. So your word will resonate with your being and will empower you as you say it. We all have names. Names are words that have identified us throughout our lifetime. We were given a name at birth, and we may even have looked in What to Name the Baby book to see if our names had a meaning that we felt was appropriate. So what if at birth we were given a word in addition to our name, a strong word that we could grow into? Leader, confidence, successful, champion. Now, early American names included Prudence, Constance, Comfort, Hope. Your email address is a word name. Is your email address simply your name, or does it describe another part of you? You might think about that. So names and words are identifiers, either conscious or unconscious. Some people throughout history have been identified by a word based on what they have done. Abraham Lincoln, statesman. Martin Luther King, humanitarian. What word would you give Mother Teresa? Joseph Stalin. Nelson Mandela. Pope Francis. I'm sure a word popped easily into your mind for these leaders. Now, as we go about finding our word, we may sometimes be reluctant or fearful to go too deeply inside ourselves to discover what our word might be. Pardon me. Will I like my word? Or here's a big one. Will others make fun of me or disagree? Heavens. Are we too embarrassed or too self-effacing to choose strong, positive words for ourselves? So how do we start looking for our word? Are there any rules? No. Your word, however, will be a high vibrational word. All words have a vibration, just as everything has a vibration. Love, beauty, peace, harmony are high vibration words. You feel good when you say them. They invoke a sense of well-being. Some words are low. Hate, discord, ugly, stupid. Don't these words make you feel disempowered? And how sad that the low vibration words are prevalent in society today. So your word can be any part of speech. It can be a noun, a statement of being, servant, leader, healer, organizer, maverick. Al? An adverb. How do I approach life? Merrily, surely, ably, joyfully. It can be a verb. You're an action person. Encourage, heal, help. A descriptive adjective. Beautiful, competent, optimistic, worthy. Or a feeling. Happy, quiet, satisfied. As you are looking for your word, you need to get to the core essence of who you are. What is at the core of your crystal that bloomed into all the facets it ended up with? Who are we deep down inside that we need to acknowledge and claim? If you can't easily determine your word just now, then choose it. Just choose it. There is some quality that you admire. Like attracts like, the law of attraction, right? So you are probably closer to that quality than you may think. You can have a word that you grow into, and that's the beauty of a word. Keeps you moving towards something greater. Your word may change. That's okay. Everything changes, and we are beings of the universe, so change is part of us as well. Now, definitely think big when you choose your word. Remember that first law, as we think, so we are? So don't settle for anything less than big. Don't be afraid of it. Choose your word with a powerful image in mind and with no apologies. Choose a word that elevates you, that makes you smile when you say it, that makes you proud to be who you are, and that makes you better inside and out. Picture yourself triumphantly standing in the glory of your word, shouting, "Universe, this is who I am." Elizabeth Gilbert's original concept of a personal word is, it's a word that matches every single part of me. So what word matches every single part of you? Look for it. It's there. You'll find it. So now we're going to move to the interactive portion of this talk. There, under some of the chairs, there are baskets with plastic bags. If you could look under your chair or find the basket with plastic bags, we need to pass those out. Everyone needs to take one plastic bag. Okay, now I just want to caution you that when we get to using the items in the bag, the pen is a permanent marker. So just be aware, don't drop it on the floor. Don't, you can maybe write on Al's jacket with it. But just be careful. You'll be writing on a card, so I hope it won't leak through. Just keep that in mind. So please take your plastic bag, open it, and remove, but listen to this, the pen and the card only. Not the label. Leave that in the bag. Now hold the pen and card gently in your lap or somewhere where you can get to it quickly. If some of you have the really thick markers and you would rather write with a smaller pen for now, you can do that as well. Music. And we're going to do a brief meditation to assist you in finding your word. First, I would like you to ask your ego to step back for a bit. Assure your ego that you will be back with it in just a moment and not panic. This is important, and you may have to do that a couple of times if you become aware that it is trying to reassert itself. Your word is not in the realm of your ego. Come to a state of relaxation. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and out several times. Try to calm the busy mind. Everything is by intention, so set your intention now to access your high self, the part of you that knows you at your most profound. Ask your high self to assist you through this meditation. Relax, relax. You feel ever so comfortable. Travel back in time to the moment Creator's spark of life became your soul. Go back to that moment and ask to remember what it felt like. You were a new soul and still connected to your high self. You had many insecurities as a young soul and had many lessons to learn. Reflect on how good you felt when you had learned the lesson of a particular past life. You have had many past lifetimes, and now here you are again. You have brought great wisdom and so much experience with you to this life. Sometimes we are afraid to even acknowledge that, but now it's time. In order to progress, we must first know what our starting point is. What quality do you have that all your past life experiences give you in this lifetime? Start the process by thinking of several possibilities and write them on the card. Remember, no one here will judge you. This is the time to step out and be the real you. This is a safe place. Don't make any excuses for yourself. Don't sell yourself short. Nothing is served by doing that. Make your list of words as authentic as possible. Keep breathing, keep that breath moving. Reconnect to that high self. As you look at your list, be aware of which word feels the best when you think about it. Which word makes your heart sing and dance? This is your essence, the deepest, innermost you. Sit and simply be present with your word. If it is the right word for you, it will feel right. You will know that it is your word. Even if it feels right, you may want to go even deeper. Have you reached the very core of your being? Is there something else down there you need to acknowledge and bring up? Your word will help you fall in love with yourself. You begin to look at yourself with fresh, appreciative eyes. Now slowly, gently, come out of your meditation, but stay connected to your high self. Take the label from the bag and write your word boldly on that label. Remove the label and attach it to your clothing where everyone can see it. This is not the moment for shyness or introversion. Now come back from the meditation. Take several deep breaths, ground yourself, stamp your feet, wiggle your fingers. Are you all back? Okay. As the first step in owning our word, we're going to go around the whole room. I want each one of you to stand up, say your name, and then state your word clearly so that everyone can hear it. I will start us off and then bring the mic around. Okay, my name is Lyriel. My word is empowerment. How hard is that?
Do you understand? No, just. Okay, my name is Delith, and my word is curious.
My name is Annie, and my word is butterfly.
Perfect, excellent. Okay. I applaud you all. So, now that we've done that, what do we do with this word? Well, first of all, embrace it with joy and humility. This was a wonderful mass of words. Didn't you feel, so does it make you feel wonderful to hear it? Yes, yes. Embrace your word with joy and humility. This is not a time to go charging out into the world proclaiming it. Merely start living it and see what happens. Leave that label on until you get home. When you're home, take the label off and attach it to your bathroom mirror where you will see it every day. Look at it, internalize it, and live it. Now, if you feel you haven't really discovered your word, your real deep word yet, don't worry about it. Maybe something else will come to you later today when you're not hard at work trying to figure it out. Let it come to you in its perfect time. It will change you, I promise. Okay, now I'm sure that some of you will want to comment, but we're going to forego comments today in the interest of time. The good news is that there is a potluck out there where you can comment and discuss to your heart's content. And if you could leave the markers in a basket when you leave. Thank you very much. I've really enjoyed this.